Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about something well, it's heavy, but I think it's also necessary. I recently received a letter from a parent that stopped me in my tracks. And as I read it, I kept thinking, this person is not alone. There are thousands of parents out there feeling exactly this way. So if you're raising a child who's dealing with severe anxiety, OCD, or intense emotional struggles, especially a teenager, I want you to know that this conversation is for you. Before we dive in, let me be crystal clear about something. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. What I'm sharing today is not medical advice, and it's definitely not a replacement for professional care. Think of this more as a fellow human being sharing some perspective. That might help you feel a little less alone in a really difficult season. All right, let's go. So, the letter. I'm going to paraphrase it here to protect this person's privacy, but the essence of it goes like this. My son is in his final year of high school. He was diagnosed with OCD a few years ago. We've tried everything: medication, therapy, mindfulness programs. We even explored some spiritual practices. And look, some things helped for a little while, but nothing seems to stick long term. He struggles with sleep. He struggles with school. Friendships are really hard. Daily routines that used to be automatic now feel like climbing a mountain. And sometimes he just explodes in anger, in frustration. And I don't know how to respond anymore. I feel like I failed him. Like maybe I didn't catch this early enough. Like maybe I said the wrong things, or did the wrong things, or wasn't attentive enough when it mattered. I'm exhausted. I'm guilty. And honestly, I'm terrified about his future. I just want to know, what is the wisest way to help my child right now? Now, if you're listening to this right now and something in your chest just tightened and you thought, oh my God, that's me, I need you to hear this first. Your exhaustion makes sense. Your fear makes sense. Your love has never been in question. You are not failing. You are standing in the middle of something genuinely, brutally difficult. And the fact that you're still here, still searching for answers, still caring this deeply, that already says everything about the kind of parent you are. Okay, so let's start by addressing something that I think gets confused a lot. When a child is dealing with severe OCD, anxiety, or emotional dysregulation, this is not a discipline problem. It's not a motivation problem. It's not a character flaw. And this is important. It's not a parenting failure. In many cases, what's happening is that the child's nervous system is completely overwhelmed. They are not choosing to react this way. They are doing the best they can with a system that is essentially in survival mode. This distinction matters. Because when we, as loving, well-meaning parents, say things like, just try a little harder, you can push through this if you really want to, I know you're capable of more. Those words, even when they come from a place of love and encouragement, can land very differently on a child whose nervous system is already at capacity. They can land as pressure, as shame, as threat. And here's the thing about pressure. It doesn't heal a dysregulated nervous system. It actually tightens it. It makes the problem worse. So if you've been saying these things, and let's be real, most of us have, this is not about blaming yourself. This is about understanding what's actually happening beneath the surface. Your child doesn't need more willpower right now. They need something else entirely. And this is the part that's hard to hear, but I also think it's the part that can be deeply, deeply relieving. Your child does not need you to fix them right now. They need you to help create safety. Now, what does that actually mean? Safety looks like continuing to work with qualified professionals for medical and therapeutic support, maintaining structure and predictability in daily routines where possible, reducing the emotional pressure around who they should become. But here's the deeper layer, and this is where it gets interesting. Your child's healing environment includes you, not your advice, not your strategies, not your solutions. You, your state of being. If you are constantly anxious, even if you're hiding it, your child picks that up. If you're desperate for them to change, they feel that. If you're silently blaming yourself, they sense it. And I want to be really clear. This is not because you're doing something wrong. This is just how humans work. We are wired for something called emotional contagion. We pick up on each other's nervous system states, especially between parents and children. So when we talk about helping your child, we can't separate that from the question, how are you doing? And I know that can sound like just another thing to feel guilty about. Like, great, now I have to be perfect and my kid has to be okay? No, that's not what I'm saying. Here's where a lot of parents misunderstand what self-work actually means. Self-work is not about blaming yourself. It's not about confessing moral failure. It's not about martyring yourself for your child's sake. Healthy self-work asks a completely different question. How can I remain grounded, regulated, and emotionally available in a situation I cannot control? That might look like therapy. It might look like mindfulness practice or journaling or a parent support group or spiritual reflection, whatever actually helps you process your own grief, fear, and disappointment. These practices are not tools to fix your child. They are tools to reduce your reactivity, process your grief around unmet expectations, release your unrealistic timelines, rebuild your inner stability. And when you do this work, not perfectly, just consistently, something subtle but powerful starts to happen. Your presence becomes calmer, your expectations soften. Your child feels less watched, less evaluated, less pressured to perform wellness for you. And that shift alone can sometimes reduce symptoms, not because you fixed your child, but because you changed the emotional environment around them. Now, does this mean that if you meditate enough, your child's OCD will disappear? No, absolutely not. That's not how this works. But it does mean that you become more sustainable, you become less likely to burn out, and you become a more stable presence in your child's life, which, over the long haul, matters more than almost anything else. Okay, let's talk about a myth that I think does a lot of damage. The myth says, if I don't push my child, they'll never recover. And I get it. I really do. When you're watching your child struggle, the instinct to push, to motivate, to do something, it's overwhelming. But here's what I've observed, both in my own life and in the stories of many others. Pushing too hard often delays recovery. Not always, but often. Another myth says, if I take care of myself, I'm being selfish. But here's the truth, and I need you to really hear this. A burned-out caregiver cannot provide long-term care. A regulated adult is one of the strongest therapeutic factors for a struggling child. You do not need to disappear, shrink, or sacrifice your entire well-being for your child to have a chance at healing. You need to stay intact. And honestly, that's one of the most loving things you can do. Now, when I say letting go, I want to be really specific about what I mean, because I think this phrase gets misused a lot. Letting go does not mean giving up on your child, lowering all standards and structure, abandoning treatment. That's not what we're talking about. Letting go means releasing the fantasy of a linear, predictable recovery, comparisons with other kids, the belief that you must know how this story ends. It means shifting from the question, how do I make my child better, to the question, how do I walk beside them without breaking myself? And let me tell you something. That is not weakness. That is mature, sustainable love. That's the kind of love that lasts through years, not just months. Now, here's something I need to say really clearly, because I think it's easy to take what I'm sharing and weaponize it, either against yourself or against others. This perspective, this approach is something you can only apply to yourself. You cannot and should not force this onto other parents. If someone else is still in the I need to fix my child phase and you tell them, actually, you just need to let go and work on yourself, that can come across as dismissive, even cruel. Everyone is on their own timeline. Everyone is processing their own grief. What I'm offering here is one way of looking at this. It's not the only way, and it's certainly not something to evangelize. If this resonates with you, take it. Use it. Let it help you breathe a little easier. If it doesn't, that's okay too. You get to find your own path. So if you're listening today as a parent who feels trapped between hope and despair, who feels like you're failing even though you're doing everything you can, please hear this. You are not failing. You are navigating something genuinely hard. Your child's journey may be long, it may be uneven. There may be setbacks that feel devastating. But your role is not to control the destination. Your role is to provide safety, protect dignity, remain emotionally present, and care for yourself enough to stay in the picture. Sometimes the most powerful healing doesn't come from doing more. It comes from holding space differently. And that's something only you can do for your child. All right. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. If this resonated with you, maybe share it with someone who might need to hear it. And if you're walking this path right now, just know that you're not alone. Take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next one.